Yes. Nigeria say the best. Macron can metal unafu. The one I just show you, you will not see. More today. Yes. Yes. Welcome. Neku mado ke we prove go that na ni se ri jagije. Ometina fu bossy, how you let ya? We say that na ebubtelmu nke kibobo. Hey! Biafra bo after God na you. Biafra bo ananso. Yes. Magaye malo. Iye chireke kerala Biafra. Yes. O Trump melo chief of staff. Asina dike mweze anaha kwa namba. God the Dragon Master. Makano na afu be mudia before. Yes. Lobbyist. Unu kotelo mo. Yes. Yenga gunu ta. Kuna struggle a change go from this moment. Because of this single display, I may in 2 months to come. Okay, mark my word. Agwamunu. Na Nigeria, yes. Then the Adina has sent in Finland. Someone else. Warm up, name press up. Makaya game after December. Man, okay, bit of a okay. Makana. The Biafra land will never allow the enemies of our people, our culture, our belief and way of life to live the next minute. The earlier they pack their bag and baggages and leave our land for the defense of our women and children, the better for them. Nigeria, na convention, but can generate a legal document? Yes. I get you see where was wanine. Organize Biafra. Makana I before. Up to this today is only awareness that now we are not wanted in Nigeria. Yes. It is only awareness that Nigeria was not created to favor every indigenous person within that Niger area. And so it is for the best interest of everybody that we go our separate ways to develop ourselves in the best way possible. So we can value and recognize our culture, our differences, and develop our land ourselves and compete among nations. Where criminals and fraudsters will not be vying into positions with the money they stole from America. That is what we are fighting for. Yes. All of you remember those who promised to bring 25 Hilos cars to kill our people in Biafra land. They are all involved in the internet scam. Yeah. Those who was bragging how they will bring the Hilos from Abuja to stop us. They are all involved. The local government chairman that was arrested by the FBI on multi-million-dollar fraud, they are all together. They are the people bragging how they are going to bring Hilos to kill our people in Anambra. Today, where are they? Where be going? I know I'm going to end this fight. We are going to to our next generation. I'm already. the Wawilia. Yaka, I ain't the organic. Or the milk. Uno positive ticket today. There was. Biafra was on.
Akara m ihe mbe na-eme mbe si ma achọrọ ofu ukwu ehi ma nke ọzọ mụ achọrọ ehi niile ma ụkwụ ya ma aka ya ma isi ya ma olu ya anyị ga-adọbiri wee pụọ na nke onwe anyị tigata azụ etu anyị nọ tupu ndị ọcha wee bịa ebe a nwa aha obodo ebe a nwe ndị mmadụ n'ime tupu nwa bekee si ebe o si hapụ obodo ya ọ bịa ebe a ọkpọrọ onye nke ọkpọrọ okeke ọkpọrọ okafọ dakata anyị isi ọ sị n'ụbọchị nke taa na anya aha anyị wusi Naijiria anyị na-aza aha na-enweghị omimi n'ime ya ihe ngwa gị gbasị biko kọwara m ihe Naijiria pụtara enwepụghị kọwara m ọmụa ga-aza aha osimiri ka osimiri ga-aza aha mụnwa n'ihi ihe anyị na-ekwuwu na ebe arụgidere ụlọ a na ọ jọgburu onwe ya ọ dịghị mma Naijiria agaghị emekọtanwu ihe ọzọ ihe ọjọọ emego n'obodo a arụ emego egbugo ndị be anyị aka na-egbukwa anyị ndị Fulani wee chere na mabata be anyị ka na-egbukwa ndị be anyị ruo ụtụtụ echi a na-asị m na ọ ga-adị mma oge ọ na-ekwekwu ka nwee mmekọrịta bụ nke ndị nụkọ nke ndị ụmụnne ha egosighị anyị ọtụtụ mgbe ha kpọrọ anyị asị onye ajụrụ ajụ na-ajụ onwe ya ha jụrụ anyị aja ama njụ onwe anyị agbanyeghị na anyị nwe ngwa ahịa n'ugwu Awụsa agbanyeghị na anyị na-azụ ahịa ebe niile dị iche iche na-eme nke ọma kama onye gara ndụ kpakụ onye ire rie n'ihe ọ Ndụbụisi ka anyị na-ekwu okwu ya ka echeghata azụ ebe a ruo obodo anyị ka o wee maa mma wee karịa obodo ndị ọcha na mma ọhịa anyị na-arịọ nwoke na ugwu nwee nkwanye ugwu n'ime onwe anyị ọnwa anyị pụọ n'iro a na-etigbu anyị pụọ n'iro okwu okwu asị abụgịnị ma anyị ji wee ekwu okwu ọnwụ ihe ndị a ka anyị sị na anaghị anabatakwa ya ọzọ.
Akụkọ a kọrọ anyị bụ na ọkụkọ na ewu agaghị nzukọ ụmụ anụmanụ a na-emezi mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ịchụ aja ejiri ọkụkọ maọbụ nwụchụ aja mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ime ka Naijiria dị n'otu enwe ha na-eto esi wee kpam akpụrụ ndị Igbo ọ pụtara na anyị bụ ọkụkọ maọbụ ka ọ pụtara na anyị agaghị nzukọ mere ya bụ ihe eji eme anyị bụ ndị Igbo ụdị na ọbara ndị Igbo ahụ kpafu n'obodo Naijiria karịa
ọ bụ site na akpọmasị ihe na-eme anyị dịka ihe mere ndị ji oge mgbe gara aga etu ọkụka mba niile dị iche iche ji kpọọ ụmụ Izrel asị a na-egbu ha a na-egbu ha a na-egbu ha afọ niile aka na-egbu ha o wee ruo oge ugbu anyị asị na ogbugbu a na-egbu anyị na ọ dịghị anyị mma ọ ka mma na onwe ihe kwegbuo anyị wu nwere onwe njem a nke anyị na-aga kama na na-esi etete n'ụtụtụ asị na onwe onye gburu ebe a onwe ha na-ekwu okwu o doo na onye onwe onye n'aka ụkọchukwu n'ugwu Awụsa ebepụ isi ọnwụghị ofu ugboro ọnwụghị ugboro abụọ ọnwụghị ugboro atọ ọnwụghị ugboro anọ ọ bụ ruo ole mgbe ka a ga-egbugide anyị wee rue anyị asị mba na anyị ga-aga ka anyị nwee ike wee nwere onwe anyị ọ ka mma na anyị nwụrụ ebe anyị na-azọ nwere onwe tụbụ na anyị nọ n'ụlọ etu a mmadụ ibe mabata n'ime ụlọ mbịa bupụ m isi a sị na achọghị ụdị nka ọ bụghị anyị maka a ga-eji wee chụọ àjà ọzọ.
onye si na a ga-ata anyị ahụhụ ma ọ bụ na anyị fee arụsị anyị wee na-efe arụsị iwe were iwe gị na ọmụma gị wee bịa leta anyị ụmụ anyị wee na-anwụsị ụfọdụ nọ n'ụzọ ije ha anaghị alọta ụlọ ọzọ nne na nna wee na-ata ahụhụ wee na-ata ikikere eze nwaanyị konye ka ọ gaa ubi ga arụ ọrụ Fulani chiri ehi bata ebe ala gị nne n'iyi okwu ebepụ ya isi anyị bụ ka anyị kpọpụ onye nwe anyị n'ugwu Awụsa ahụ ejide anyị wee gbuo ihe ọ bụ anyị mara aka n'ime ha si maka ha aga n'ihu elekwa ọdụ ụgbọ mmiri n'igwe ọcha bụ ememiri ọya nke dị na Kalaba otu aka ahụ anyị na-ala nsọ ebe Biafra bụ ndị kọstọm sokwenye anyị n'etiti anyị anọghị n'ime mmiri kama kọstọm jiri ebe niile ha wee na-ata anyị ahụhụ anyị kwuo ekwesịpụta anyị ka kpọchie anyị kwuo ekwesịpụta anyị ka gbagbuo anyị onye nwe anyị na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe ọ bụ ụzọ dị agaghị isi n'efu ndị iro anyị n'anya wee karịa ndị nke gị akwa anyị bụ ụmụ Chineke Akọba anyị ka anyị na-aza. Akọba anyị na-aza Ikechukwu. Akọba anyị na-aza Amara Chineke. Akọba anyị na-aza Chisom. Akọba anyị na-aza Chisoba. Nna nke dị nsọ, onye ime eluigwe dịka otu onye iro dị na anyị bụ ụmụ gị. Bịa ka iwe zọpụta anyị. Bịa ka iwe napụta anyị n'aka ọjọọ ihe. Bịa ka iwe lụọrọ anyị ọgụ. Bịa ka iwe tietu ozu. Ọ bụ ọkọwa mgbe m nyere Goliath. Chineke nna nke igwe ruo ememi na Fero site otu a mee ka Fero ka ọ guzo n'ihu ụmụ ndị anyị ga-ebi ka o wee taa akọkọ ikiri ụtọ ọzọ. Ị ga na-edu anyị n'ụzọ niile nke ezi omume. Ọ bụla adịghị na anyị na-aga ndagwurugwu onyinye ọnwụ. Ọ bụ bụ nwa bụ ekekere n'igwe n'ụwa onye ọbụla kere gị n'oge malite n'oge ọgwụgwụ kama anyị onwe anyị gwa anọkwa ahụ ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ n'ezie kama ma akpọ na okwu gị na-anọgide ebe mgbe ebighị ebi. Ọ bụ ya mere anyị ji were gị n'anya isi anyị wee na-asị nna nke dị nsọ bịa ka iwe gosi anyị Biafra na ndụ na-abụghị n'ọnwụ. Bịa ka iwe na-ekebe gị na amara gị wee kpuchiri anyị ka uwe. Bịa ka iwe zọpụta ndị nke gị. Bịa ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee bịa ka anyị na-ewetụta na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'aha gị onye bụ Chukwu nke abịa ma.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us once again on this very special evening program. As you all know, today is a special day, being Monday, a day that will recognize and kept sacred for our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a day that will demand for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a day that we engage in civil disobedience. The enemies have tried as much as they can to stop it, but we will not allow them to stop us. No matter how they try, we will not allow them to stop us. So wherever you are and you join us this evening, being a special day for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to demand for his unconditional release, I want you to pay attention to the program. Like and share to all platforms. We are going to allow our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to speak to us. It is a very important program. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must not be forgotten. They took him to Sokoto. They are making sure that he does not get his appeal. You can see the lawyers complaining. You can see how frustrated the lawyers are. Very difficult to go to Sokoto and reach to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And remember the judgment that will pass, they restrict Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for using anything electronics. And tell me, how can Mazi Nnamdi Kanu appeal his case without using electronics? He has so many documents to print, he has so many files to send, and he has so many other things to do. But because of the restriction that was placed on his judgment, it is very difficult for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to make his application as he is defending himself in his case. So the only thing we have to continue to do is to give Mazi Nnamdi Kanu a voice, to make sure that he's not forgotten. They try to push him aside, they try to hide him, they try to make sure that the voice of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not heard. But we will not allow them. That is why every evening here, we will give Mazi Nnamdi Kanu a voice, give him a chance to speak so that the world will hear him. Our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is unstoppable. Likewise, our Prime Minister Mazi Nnamdi, they try to silence them. But as long as we are still alive, as long as there is still a Biafran that is out there free, we will continue to give them a voice. That is what we are doing this evening, being a day of our sit at home, civil disobedience. Whether you agree or you do not agree, whether you like it or not, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is observing his own civil disobedience every single day, and it has been going on for more than 5 years. Mazi Nnamdi is going on for a year plus, and all we have to do is to give them a voice. Do for them anything we can do to make sure that their voice is heard, to make sure that they are not stopped, to make sure they are not silenced. That is our responsibility. And we will continue to march on and move on until we get to our destination. My fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world, let us listen and hear a message from our supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This evening, we are going to be speaking with him.
All of you celebrate 419 as Tuesdays. I look at it and I laugh at you. In the time of the ancients, once there is, a whiff or word that this family that they give birth to thieves, believe you me, all of that name, that lineage, you will die a natural death. Because nobody will agree to marry into that family. And nobody will come there to take their daughters. That's how we are as a people. An ex-419 and a murderer and a killer was installed in Imo State, and he had the temerity. Nobody told him about what has gone before. That you don't come outside to challenge the will of God. Everything IPOB does is the will of God Almighty in heaven. That is why we pray the way we do. That is why we comport ourselves the way we do. That is why we are whiter than white and whiter than snow. That is why we are without blemish. Insofar as the restoration of Biafra is concerned, without blemish. That is why everything I said comes to pass. That is why everything that IPOB touches turns into gold. That is why we are unstoppable. That is why, despite the fact that politicians do not support us, despite the fact that all the so-called money bags do not support us, today we are the largest, most potent mass movement anywhere on earth. We are formidable. IPOB. IPOB is a spirit. When you provoke us, we turn into monsters. But in the main, we are peace-loving people. Because we are the children of God Almighty in heaven. Without God, how can we be where we are today? I ask you. With nothing. That today we give a command that the whole world will stand still. Do you think the results that is doing it? Is God Almighty in heaven using us as instruments to make the manifestation of His will upon the lives of His children a reality in their time? That's exactly what we are doing. IPOB is amongst that. I commend all of you. All of you, I commend each and every one of you. We are doing that which is right before God Almighty in heaven and the sons of men on His body. There was the only people that actually did something decent. The decent coverage was by Vanguard newspaper. I think it's one correspondent who wrote it. It's called, what's his name again? I think a lot of them put this very piece together. Very many of them. I think Vincent Ujuma, the Festus Ahom, Chidi Wamara, Jimon Samos, Yogochipu, Steve Oko, his name, Ikechipu, or Chinetu, Adam, all of them, Chimobi Wimu, one place will come from, they went out onto the streets to ask questions. Because on the morning of this very, this historic lockdown, not lockdown of Biafran yesterday, they sought permission to say, please, if you move about, and we said to them, as long as you're journalists, nothing's going to happen to you. Go and ask questions, and they did. They did. Let me give you a few headlines as to what Biafrans did yesterday. They seriously in a shock. That was why some people hurriedly are putting their propaganda together. For ESN operating to kill, arms to cover, all these idiots. Even some fools used the name of Officer Kintoye to be writing rubbish, thinking I will respond to it. I know that's what Tinubu is doing. That's the way they operate. They think they can use the media to wink and bamboozle all of us. They don't know that this is in a media age that this generation is very, very savvy. They can discern, they can understand, they can interpret. Socio-economic activities paralyzed in Enugu, Imo, Anambra, Asaba, and Rivers. Who are you listening? You know, sometimes I wonder what Yoruba journalists gain by being mischievous and evil. There are some professions that doesn't actually suit black people. Any profession in this life that requires you to use your conscience to work for the benefit of humanity, a black person should not occupy that position. I will enumerate later on. For the first time, Omoahia, the streets were empty. Omoahia, where I come from, is known for their stupidity and idiocy. Arguably, one of the most un-Biafran and idiotic set of people on the face of this very earth. Debate where I come from, very foolish. Most of you don't know that Agbi Gonsi is a debate man. It's from my clan. Do you know that? Do you know that the first general in the history of Nigeria, not the whole of Africa, I mean battlefield general, not quota general, the person, the people that gave him Ironsi, his generalship, we are white people, not blacks. White. There you go. Ironsi was a battlefield general, not quota general. Agree. The first general, the first indigenous commander of the Nigerian army is from Ibe, my clan, my village. Or should I say my mother's village in Duna? It's from Omwana. Ibe. We produced the first military head of state, the first general ever, battlefield general, even general before the Sioux became an independent flag, independent enclave of the British. And that is big. If you ask them to sit at home, they'll be talking rubbish. That is why they were ignored. History forgot about them. It's my land, yes. History forgot about them completely because of their idiocy and stupidity. Omoahia is the land that produced Dr. Michael Obara. The same way Omoahia produced Ironsi, Omoahia produced Dr. Michael Obara. The man, according to Harvard Review, not black newspaper or magazine, according to Harvard Review, the fastest growing economy in the world, the man that made it possible. It was Obara's miracle, economic miracle that frightened people. That was why they organized the first coup, so that they can slaughter us. That man is Momoy. The only black man in the history of the world to grow the economy of his region faster than any other economy in the world, including USA, including Britain, including Japan, everybody else. Number one in the world is from Omai. Yet if you ask Omai, they don't even know who they are. That's why they're foolish. But I think yesterday they came back to their senses and I got Of course, our bias is always there. Our bad donation, how can I forget? Our bad donation. I salute them immensely. And they say better late than never. Enugu did very well, and I commend them. Ebony, of course, was there. Enugu did excellent. People were lamenting after my program yesterday morning. People started calling and lamenting. So we are calling my lawyers and lamenting and saying, how can you say anything about Enugu? Enugu is complying. All we want is total compliance everywhere because Biafra doesn't belong to me. I'm only preaching the gospel that heaven asked me to preach. Biafra is your own. You are fighting for a better future for your children away from the horrible comment of Fulani Janjaweed Caliphate. Biafra is yours, doesn't belong to me. When we ask you to sit at home, you must comply. It's for your own good and the good of your children. Today, haven't you heard that the whole world is reverberating to the success that was recorded? We are the very best of the best. And I must commend to Governor Obiano for building the cenotaph he built it last year. It was last year he built it, but this year, our people, Biafrans, everything takes time. Everything takes time. I'm sure in the next 2-3 years, if this tradition continues to go world, it will only then the world recognize that there was genocide against us. So you don't know that? If you don't say you're somewhere, nobody will quote you that you're there. We cannot be going around and saying to the world, a great injustice was done to Biafra, or Semen. When you yourself, you're not doing anything about it. Days like Biafran people, only then will the world consider Biafra genocide as being worthy to be mentioned in the book of those that have been killed unjustly in the history of man. I said it yesterday and I want to say it again today that I'm commending Governor Willie Obiano, Ugwuanyi, Ibazu, Omahi, and Okowa of Delta State. Very, very good. That I commend them because of the role that they play. Everybody got together and made sure that this happened. Imo State was not locked down. Thank you, my dear brother. It was chained. I think Imo State chained. Apple. Imo State was chained. That whole was chained. No army, no police, nobody, nobody that on that chain, lock and key. Or when a municipality on that chain, they couldn't come out. I don't care why they did what they did. After all, man's daily existence is politics itself. I don't care why the governments didn't change their minds, but we welcome it all the same. If they do the right thing, of course, we will commend them. We sat at home and I commend each and every one of you. Nobody should give any time to that idiot. Well, he now owns Channels TV. Every 2 days, he will appear on channels. He will pay them money, they will be writing rubbish about him. He was ranting as usual. After snorting cocaine and drinking Hennessy, his vocal cords all gone. A lawyer who doesn't know the meaning of the rule of law. They're talking like somebody. Maybe, anything's possible these days. You know that men can become pregnant. Are you aware of that? You know that men can become pregnant these days. Go and search for it. I won't say you Google it. I'll say go and search for it. Maybe use Bing, search it. Don't use Google because they've been bought over by the zoo as well. Go and search and you'll see it. Men can become pregnant. Maybe a week you had a miscarriage. Anyway, I know that love is very strong. His love for Tapuwa outweighs his identity and ethnicity. That's why he's always ranting and talking like a fool. Who cannot, a man who sits on a chair like a woman. Oh dear man. I've said it before that any profession that requires men to fall back on their conscience when making decisions is not for black people. Why am I saying what I'm saying? In the zoo, before you can pass your exam, the lecturer must sleep with you. Is that not correct? Am I correct? Or you have to pay the bribe? Is that not correct? Is that not correct? It is only in Africa that pastors own private jets. The Pope, who is the richest religious figure in the world, has no jet. Africa houses the poorest countries in the world, but their pastors, they have private jets. An anomaly. They call it blessing. Any profession that requires men to use their conscience is not for black people. How about judges in a law court? In the zoo, they have 2 judgments. If you bring brown envelope, they give you a favorable judgment. That's what they do. Isn't it? Black people. How about journalists? Apart from Delegiwa and a few other white people, maybe now, because he has seen the light, has seen it. Apart from Delegiwa and now another Dele maybe, if he can keep it up and continue to be consistent, and the rest are they journalists? Maybe once in a while. Or should I let me focus on the editors, not the journalists themselves, the editors. What you have in this is journalism. Channels TV was interviewing Wike live. Channels TV is aware that Iguacha was on lockdown. They saw the pictures and they saw the videos. Instead of to ask the man, how come parts of River State was on lockdown? I said, we are not part of them. And IPOB cannot come here and tell us what to do. But I did. And they listened to me. They didn't listen to you. They didn't listen to you. They did. When they send the pictures and the videos, please, people should send it on Twitter and tag him so he can see it. Pictures and videos of Iguacha, especially that idiot that went to the bank asking for the bank to open. And the bank said that we cannot open. There is an order. Is it at home? Send that video to Weekend Generous TV. You know what I'm going to Not you think if you appear so many times on Generous TV to impress your lover, that wow, somehow they will believe you. Is that what you think? During referendum, you are talking like a drunken fool. During referendum, you only have one vote. Me, Nnamdi Kanu, only one single vote. Do you want Biafra to be free or do you want to remain in Nigeria? Simple. That day you cast your vote. Only one vote you cast. You little just like you. After maybe 2 years, you come down there. Then you go saying, hey, how could you do okay, man? If we don't get you before then. I say it out in the open. I don't hide it. You went, that as I been saying, I want to go to Hague. I want to be tried in a law court anywhere in the world where all the facts about the zoo, all the nonsense you fools have been doing will be brought to public knowledge. That day, what I will do to the whole world will know what you've been up to. Mad people. You remember there was a time even African referees were not allowed to referee any match because they are corrupt. As black people for you. I don't want to spend time educating Channels TV and the wannabe Hitler on how Rivers was created, but I'll just touch upon it very briefly. I want you to understand that River State, go to Wikipedia. After River State, you will see a bracket. Inside it is Igbo, IGB, for information. Maybe tomorrow you pay them to check it. You were created in 1967. 27th of May, 1967, you were created. Remember what I told people about Children's Day, 27th of May. Some of you don't know this in Heritage. Children's Day that you are celebrating coincides with the day that River State was created. That was the day that the Eastern Consultative Assembly gave Ujubu the mandate to declare Biafra. That same day, the British intelligence got wind of it through BBC correspondent in Enugu. And Britain called Gowon and told Gowon what was happening and gave Gowon this advice that they themselves, being the British, the best way they have used over the centuries to conquer people is by dividing them. Divide them first, then you go and conquer them. Divide and rule. And go on. That same 27 children, as I told you, the reason why they call it Children's Day. People don't know how important 27th of May is. It was on that same day as they were liberating that River State was created. That same day. Are you following? People to actually go to school, writing rubbish and talking nonsense about the Constitution and all that rubbish. Look at them and I laugh because they are not educated. I want to call it Romania. Voice of Nigerian Super. Of course, SBS, Iwacha, Basic Studies and Portal. I went to London Metropolitan University. We are well read. We are well read. We know what I'm talking about. On that 27th of May, as British intelligence MI5 got wind of the fact that the Eastern Consultative Assembly had granted the people the right to proclaim Biafra on the 27th, they told Gowon to divide Biafra. That same day, and River State was created. Are you listening? Because you don't know history. You're a fool. This Rivers, I'm a Rivers man. Rivers man. How old are you? You're just like those shouting one night here. Listen to them. Idiotic, moronic set of people. A man is 80-something years old, older than Nigeria by over 20-something years. And I'm asking you, before you became a Nigerian, who were you? That is one thing I hold against Nigerians. And I will keep on holding until they are shamed. I'm asking you. How old were you in 1967? That was when your rivers was created. And you proceeded to go and start stealing properties belonging to your brothers. Because you don't want the land to kill you. That's why you said you are no longer evil. Idiot like you. If some of you have been following the news lately, you will see that they said it has passed second reading or third reading, the restructuring bill. In that restructuring bill, they are now proposing to create a new state called a Neoma state with the capital in Ahaba. Some of you call Asaba, of course, because you're ignorant. You're all products of colonial rule anyway. And they plan to add it to the southeast. Ahaba, Delta State, Neoma, but not River State. Because Fulani is very lazy. They need to do to the rest of you what they did to Ogoni people. Then your eyes will open. By the time they'll be dealing by the time they'll be dealing with you, you'll be shouting and nobody will listen. Allow me to keep misleading all of you, like the idiots that some of you are. We used to have the same problem everywhere. Until we said no, enough is enough. We can go on, created you, Rivers, 27th of May 1967, the same day that the lives of Frank Ubigo from Okrika, for your information, and a German was in Enugu advising Ojukwu. That same period, that same day, that same 27th, Ojukwu said, "What shall we call this our new nation?" After they had passed the resolution. And a German, I'm saying this because there's a Nigerian, I'm a nation, other rubbish. I want to listen to me very carefully. And a German rose up, Chief Frank Ubigo, and said, "The name of our new nation shall be Biafra." And Ojukwu asked him, "Why Biafra?" Because Ojukwu himself, even a historian, an Oxford-trained historian, did not know. Frank Ubigo whispered to him, "Not in here, I will tell you later what Biafra means." Do you know how God works? Ojukwu did not quibble, he did not argue. If Ojukwu wanted to dominate other people, if Igbos had wanted to dominate other people, Ojukwu would have just said, this new nation shall be called Igbo nation, isn't it? But you see, when these people, I don't know. They said that the Zoo army is in Abao, they're looking for trouble. When they get it, they start complaining. The Nigerian army is now in Abao, manipulating and patrolling, looking for people to kill. When the angels find them now and send them to God for judgment, you start acting rubbish. Now they're patrolling inside there, but you cannot ask them to go back to the barracks and sit down. Because something is happening. As I was saying before, those vermin interrupted my train of thought. It's that same 27th of May, 1967. That day is very, very critical, I'm telling you. As Frank Ubigo and a German was telling Ojukwu, later on I will tell you why I recommended that the name should be Biafra. And the Holy Spirit was upon Ojukwu. God was angels from heaven were ministering to him, telling him, listen to Frank Ubigo. And as soon as Chief Ubigo finished, Ojukwu said the new name shall be Biafra. If Ojukwu had domineering tendencies, if the Igbos wanted to lord it over every other person to conquer them, I think Ojukwu should have insisted on the place answering Igbo nation, isn't it? That's pure common sense, as the Fulanis are doing to the Hausa people up north. Isn't it? Of course, Ahaba is the name. Ahaba, Asaba is Ahaba. The name is Ahaba. Go there. If you go to Asaba tomorrow morning, you see them there, Ahaba. Go and ask the traditional ruler. The Asaba of Asaba. Go and ask him, what is your name? He tells you that. If you go to his place, you go to Ahaba. That's the name. Like Ahabi name. Who doesn't know that? Is it all this nonsense? These corrupt, useless Yoruba journalists are writing every day that you're reading. That's like people who are born in Lagos sometimes. To be honest with you, I don't quite see them as normal people, to be honest with you. I'm being honest. Learning that one music, all these people that grew up in Lagos and Kano, all these places, they know nothing in their brain. They're the ones that will insist. The name is Asaba. It's a Haba. Go there to a Haba, you will see it. That's Haba, Habi name. Common sense, they don't have the claim they educated. I meant to say, I have PhD. Do you know who I am? What else your brain isn't? You know nothing, absolutely nothing. Ojukwu adopted the name Biafra. As Ojukwu was giving us the name Biafra, christening us Biafra, according to the advice of Chief Frank Obigo, one idiot or something I can't go on is saying, I'm going to divide you. I'm going to create Cross River, and I'm going to create a Buddha State, and I'm also going to create River State. True or false? I throw like you. What do you know? You go on channels and you're talking like somebody that fell from if I went about that fell from palm tree. If they are here, say bad, I throw like you claim you're a lawyer, you know nothing. Absolutely nothing. Your brain is empty. Absolutely empty. That is why a fellow man like that will useless your backside because you're an idiot. You're a complete fool. You know nothing. I feel sorry for those you are deceiving. Poor students, you raise in Mizzou, you go to NYSC, your brain is empty, you know nothing. Absolutely nothing. You don't know your history. You don't even know the history of your own village. We should start by asking, what is the history of my village? I know where we come from. My village. I kept asking my father before he passed. I kept asking him, tell me the history of this Yamafalu, and he told me. The soldiers are molesting people. Katrina Lang, when you're having your I hope you're listening. Channels TV, Yoruba journalists, I hope you're listening. That soldiers, Nigerian soldiers are in Aba right now molesting people. I hope you can hear it. When there is equal response now, you start having a jump. That's why I said that a black man should not be a journalist. We lack conscience. Black people do not have conscience. That is why you give chieftaincy titles to people who are doing forward man, people like Hopos and can come and become a governor of the state. In the olden days, people like him would be exiled or sold into slavery because he's a thief. 419, Ghana. River State was created. And in fact, I want to direct now, you claim you're a lawyer and also Channels TV. Somebody should also email Channels TV as little as possible the Willing Commission report of 1958. Because I don't know is there anything wrong with your brain cells? You people, you animals in the zoo, animals calling themselves Nigerians. Is there anything? Are you sure your brain is not of something? Is there something in your brain that is stopping you from reasoning? I want somebody to send this very report, the Willing Commission report, to every idiot that calls him or herself a Niger Delta. Send it to them. Send it to them because the idiocy is becoming too much. This foolishness can no longer tolerate. Send it to them. Which is born in today. Oraka, you know, is also in the brain. They say they are not, we are from Guinea, near the upper of Palace, near this Palace. Chai, who did this thing to you people? Who did, I can understand. I know that black people by nature are very stupid. But it seems to me there are layers of stupidity. All these Niger Delta South people, it seems your own stupidity is incomparable. I'm telling you. God forbid. Oh, no wonder the Sultan can come to Bayelsa and own over 30 oil wells. Now you understand it, don't you? No wonder. No wonder that you have 15 oil wells. No wonder your land can be polluted. and you can't do nothing about it. Absolutely nothing. What can you do? Nothing. You lament, you cry, and nobody listens. And they float NDDC, and their budget is maybe $1 million, and all of you are scrambling for $1 million. Whereas the Sultan of Sokoto preaching unity and one Nigeria is because of his oil wells in Bayelsa. And you're telling me you went to school. You're telling me you can listen. You are telling me you can think properly. Do you understand it? Do you understand it? Equally check by Upomo, Iban is the company, Orata, or one. Ndoke are all indigenous Igbo extraction in River State. It is called River Igbo. I want you to go to Wikipedia now and type in River State on Wikipedia. You will see it. River State, the first bracket you see is Igbo, IGBO. People may wonder why am I preaching this all the time? Because I grew up in the village. And in the village, you learn a lot of things. Not like in the township, there you learn nothing. You live in a yard. I grew up in the village. And there is a saying where we come from. You can only show me my relative. You cannot show me my friend because I make my friends myself. You can't bring somebody and say, oh, come, this is your friend. No. If at all any of you have had the privilege of staying in a village, in a Biafran, typically Igbo village, Biafran village, for up to a week, let's say during festive season, what happens usually? If you can remember, if you live, when them listen, oh, the next one, listen. When you are in the village, during any festive season, how many times have you heard your mom or your father say, oh, come, they will call your name and say, come and see your uncle, come and see your aunt, come and see your cousin. How many times? Because they are all your relatives. That's the only people they can show to you. Nobody can show you your friend because your friends you make yourself. Now you understand? Going back to Wicked and Ikwere people, or some not Ikwere players, I don't want to generalize. After all, it was an Ikwere chief that was coming to see me when I was in prison. The delegation of people coming to see me when I was in prison. If you go to the archives of the people coming to court, anytime I have a case, they will gather Luxurious bus from the water all the way to Abuja. It's an Ikwere chief. Have you all forgotten? You have all forgotten, haven't you? So I am weak and cannot make me to generalize. I'm not stupid. Who we are the people that observed the sit at home, the lockdown yesterday in your rivers. I don't know if you people. Yes, I'm asking you a simple question. So I'm not going to generalize. I am not going to generalize. Now listen to me. Before independence of the zoo, in fact, basically before the 27th of May 1967, there was no identity crisis in rivers. None whatsoever. None. I have said this thing to people many times. They don't want to listen. When I was arguing about the origin of the Igbo race, some people said they are anthropologists, they are historians, and all that. They were talking about pure people. And I tried to prove to them that the Igbo race is comprised or made up of three distinct people. Three distinct, I said different people make up the Igbo race. They were talking nonsense. I said to them that the best place, because our ancestors were very clever, how you know where you come from is by the names you give your children or the names you give your towns and your villages. And they said, how did I come to that realization? I said to them, do you know that the last phase that came, the house of Ephraim and Manasseh, that came from the Harish region of Israel, the last migration that came, those that passed through Ethiopia, that went down all the rest of it, through Cameroon before coming down to settle, crossing the Amampala River, and settling at Ungwe and Aguilera. Do you know who they are? Of course, people do not know. They were the ones that gave the name. They were the people that realized that the oldest people on that land are the Igbo people. When they came to a place called Agono, they said that this is the road that leads to the settlement of Igbo people. They named it Agono, also Igbo, which means Agono, where you pass before you go to the settlement of Igbo people. Agono, Agono, also Igbo, also means the road that leads to. The same way you have Akoli and also Akoli. Also Akoli means this is the road you use to go to Akoli. I don't know if people are paying attention. Openly Benes was in heaven. They are the ones that said this is Agolo, this is Agolo. This Agolo settlement is the road you use to go to their Igbos. Agolo is Yaga Eden Igbo, Agolo also Igbo. I hope that makes sense to most of you. Now you understand. All of you fools claiming sound. So, do you know that I blame people and Umwe can say they're not Igbo? Do you know that? Do you know that Uwere people and Aro can say they're not Igbo? Do you know that some parts of Umbise or Homo and Bide can say they're not Igbo? Are you aware of that? Because the original people who were there can be found in a place called, you know, our names are very clear. Ibu. Hope you understand it very clearly now. You are following what I'm saying. I go back to the Willing Commission. The reason why we keep having this debate all the time is because our people are not educated. I'm sorry to say this, but our people are not well educated. That is the problem. If you can take out only 5 minutes, anybody calling themselves Niger Delta, I'm not Igbo, I'm not Igbo. If you can take out only 5 minutes to read the Willing Commission report, why people wrote it, not class, then you will understand your stupidity. It will be staring you in the face. It's for weekend. According to Willing report, white man in 1958, way before, almost 10 years before God created or gave you your new identity. More than I'm reading the report verbatim, white man's report, Willing, because they complain. Everywhere you go, man is there. In culture, everywhere. We want minority. We want to recognize. They call themselves minority. Is that correct? When Britain was tuning them. Because Britain wanted unrestricted access to our oil and gas. And the only way to achieve it is to tell Ogoni people, yeah, you see, you are distinct, you are different. Ever since the people that are different have they succeeded to their sense now. They come to jump. Hey, international, you're different. Oh. Have you succeeded in getting your resource control? The answer is no. You come to the upper land of Igbo, which is from our crossing river. Not minded as a place called Obibo. They tell you, oh, they hate you. This south, they hate you. Look for one Igbo nation only. Don't mind them. And some intellectuals and the philosophers who buy into it. They want to divide you to weaken you. You have forgotten that our other people are Igbo people. Bone people are Igbo people. I want to challenge all of you now. You know, during the burning of the house of that straight of Asamutuan, called, do you know who was there? Go on appointed Dieta Spiff. The one that just chased away from his palace now, as the governor of River State. Are you aware of that? No, you don't know what I'm telling you now. That man they pursued a few days ago from his palace. He's called Alfred Dieta Spiff, if I'm not mistaken. He was the saboteur that Gowon used to administer River State to spite Ujuku. Understand? So they created natural saboteurs. You see this man you call, what's his name, Vinny Clark. Do you know why I hate him? He's a father, he's an elderly man, I should be respecting him. Is that not correct? According to our culture. Do you know why I hate him with a passion? He was a saboteur. They made him Minister for Information. That's how they go. Gentlemen and their British masters, they gave them political positions. They now went back to go and convince their own people that Biafra is a bad thing for them to be part of because of political appointment. Are you following me? This man was sacked from his palace a few days ago. Are you listening to me? He was sacked. Do you know why he was sacked? I can't see other way on. Go and watch that video again. All the people from Nembe, I think it's Nembe in Brass, Tom Brass. I want you to go and watch the video of the indigents of one Brass, Nembe or whatever it is, removing the very corrupt king Alfred there to speak. They were all speaking a dialect of Igbo in a jolly. Go and watch the video again and again and again. Are you listening to me? People ask me, why are you doing this? Are you begging them to join you? Why did you reject Igbo only Biafra? I said to them, as Oriental Boras sang in their song, Kabaka in those days, I am only identifying with my flesh and my own blood, the same DNA, the same heritage, the same value system. In a referendum, they will have the chance to reject me. Then, if they do, I will respect it. That is their own prerogative. And forever and ever, we will make it as a law that is binding on every generation that these are no longer your people. That's what we're trying to do. We are not forcing anybody to do anything. I am doing what the ancients did. If you see your flesh and blood, you recognize them. That's all we are doing. That is all we are doing. I will get to the case of Ogun and the rest of them later on. But I want our people to understand this. The reason why they are holding you or forcing you to adopt a different identity is because it will be easier for them to control you once we are divided. I have preached this gospel before and I'll preach it again. The only reason why they killed Kensington was because the Igbos did not rise up to defend him. That's all. The reason why they did not kill me whilst I was in detention was because of their vengeance. Not Igbo people. Of course, IPOB was formidable. I mean, blocking them for 4 days. You know, who could have done that? And people ask me, why do I keep saying I will sacrifice anything for Biafra? Because they sacrificed everything for me. Head beef was closed for 4 days. Avengers came out, mainly in job use, came out to say we'll blow up every Nigeria will not export any oil. Their number one demand was releasing Nnamdi Kanu from detention. How can I not preach about the unity of these people? Why won't I preach it? I hope that we can come there. We are going to read the Willing Commission report for you. More than 98% of people who inhabit this area is called the Igbo Plateau of the Eastern region. You know what it's called? It's called the plateau. You know what the plateau is? Like Plateau State. It's a tableland, it's a flat land. If you cross Ungwa, once you enter Ungwa, basically, if you don't know who the hills ends, you know why? Some of you that did geography, who the hills, the range of hills, where you have hills and you have valley. Like if you go to Onokoro, there are hills, there are valleys, and it ends in Ungwa. From Ungwa, it is now flat land all the way to the ocean. That was why the white man called it the Igbo Plateau. It is in the Willings report of 1958. Channels, are you listening? Wike, are you listening? I'm reading the report for you. They are all Igbo and they speak one language, though of course with certain differences of dialect. There are nearly 5 million of them, and they are too many for the soil to support. They are vigorous and intelligent and have pushed outward in every direction, seeking a livelihood by trade or in service in the surrounding areas of the Eastern region, in the Western region, in the North and outside Nigeria. They are no more popular with their neighbors than is usual in the case of an energetic and expanding people whose neighbors have a more leisurely outlook on life. This is simple English written by a white man. Are you listening? Tell us if you're listening. A white man said in 1958, these people that inhabit the plateau of rivers, I call you Igbo, that is the proper name. You people, you are Igbo. You are intelligent. I'm not talking about Igbo people. You are very smart. You diverse. You travel out wide. You are energetic. You are hardworking. But the places you are going to, the people hate you. In the north, in the west, everywhere you go to, they hate you because those people are lazy. That's what the white man said. I didn't say it. It's here now in the paper. Oh, my goodness me. They hate us because we are hardworking. That is why they brought Ahmed Gulag to Owerri and killed him. That they may demonize and kill as many of us as possible. Because we are energetic. We are blessed by God. Everybody is in this together. Everybody in the former Eastern region. This is what a white man wrote about you in 1958. You know what the white man said again? As I've been teaching you for a very long time, Chief President. Let me tell you what the white man said. Though there has been no great kingdom to indigenous culture in the Eastern region, no great kingdom. The only reason why Britain hated us was because they could not have any one man to go to say, oh, tell them what to do. Because we had no kings. But the coastal chiefs means in Japan, the coastal chiefs, those who live by the very close to the Atlantic Ocean, they grew on their trade with European merchant ships. Simply slavery. That's what they were doing. So some of you that claim you're from a joy, you're not Biafra, you are saboteurs. It's in your nature. You've been selling your products to the white man from time. You know, I speak the truth. And I damn the consequences. When you see somebody from a John land as a traitor, it didn't start today. They started selling us to the white man. The Trojan is in their blood. Look at the clerk. Look at how Jesus speaks. But I'm not going to generalize. The man that gave us the name Biafra that most people say don't want to identify with is an German. That is the most, that is the irony of the whole thing. I thank God for Frank Rubingo. I thank God for people I cannot mention their names here because I don't want the police looking for them. From a German. I thank the police. I thank all of them. They know who they are. That have this thing at heart. I'm not saying that Igbo politicians have helped in matters, you know, they made it worse. And sometimes I don't blame our brothers from the coastal region. In the year 1999, I've said this story, I've told this story about a billion times, but I'll say it again tonight. When you were still running around carrying bags for politicians, I left England to try to come to Biafra land to unite this great family. Then there was no IPOB. There was no agitation by anybody. This was before MASOP started. Before anybody mentioned Biafra to anybody. I was at a place called Obunaga in Igboacha, talking to the local chief there. And he said to me, my son, where are your fathers? This particular message you're bringing to me, your father should be bringing it here. A message of hope and reconciliation of our people. Because I sat him down and I lectured him about history and who we are, that we are one people. That was the day that I went to the office of Don Mite of Mosop. Ask him, he will tell you the year one. We've come a long way with it. It's called persistence. I never change. Ask Mite, the leader of Mosop, what I told him in his office. I met him in his office in Niger Street. He watched, I know from it. That day I was coming from home I don't know if it's late now because it's a very long time. I was coming from the home of the traditional ruler of Obuna Valley. You know, Hotel Chester is opposite. Let Lord have mercy upon us. Let us not go. We have gone very far. Very, very far. I said Mosop. That was where I was looking from. Mosop. Movement for the survival of Ogoni people. That was the number one freedom fighting movement that was still anywhere in the East. They are number one. Mosop was number one. Ogoni freedom fighters were number one. Too lazy to do anything. So it just. Are you listening to me? The Rivers province include Brass and Degema. Brass and Degema were overwhelmingly a job. I told about one Brass a while ago where the speech came from where he was sacked a few days ago. There was Igbo dialect. And then there was a good division. It is all here. In that very place, that time, out of a population in Rivers province of 747,000 people in your so-called Rivers state, 305,000 were Igbo people, 240,000 were Ijaw people, 156 were Ogoni people. The only three people mentioned, distinct groups mentioned in Rivers state were Igbo, the owners of rivers, Igbo, Ijaw, and Ogoni. Every other subgroup you must find yourself under either you are Ogoni, you are Ijaw, or you are Igbo. And the highest population of Igbo people in Rivers State, the highest population of people in ethnic group in Rivers State, Igbo people, in 1958. Oh, yeah. I don't need time to continue on this stuff because sometimes I don't know if our people actually absorbing what you're telling them. I don't know. Let me tell you what happened. According to the white man said, in the whole of the non-Igbo areas, the Ijaw and Ogoni areas, there were some fear that are being overrun by the Igbo. The Igbo includes the Igbo people, mind you, in their own land. There was fear of being overrun commercially and politically by the Igbos. If our brother and Port Harcourt is Igbo, which are really Igbo, a white man, are you listening to me? I've forgotten all the I've forgotten. I have other things to preach, but I want to educate this fool and Channels TV. Yoruba journalists, I want to educate you. Because some of you are very daft, you know nothing. I'm reading what a white man investigated and reported upon in 1958. What did this white man say? The white man said, in non-Igbo areas, which is Ijaw and Ogoni, they are afraid that Igbo man will overrun them commercially and politically. This Igbo man includes Igbo man, which is weakest village. Weakest people. They said, if our Hoda and Port Harcourt, which are really Igbo, a white man said, Igbo is Igbo. The people that colonized you. The people that colonized you said, Igbo is Igbo. It is here. Willing commission. That you cried to. You were the people that petitioned him and said, we are minority. We are dying. Come and save us. The white man came and said and told you that our Hoda and Igbo Port Harcourt are Igbo. It was considered a solid center of Igbo population. The fear and grievances of minorities. Why this commission was set up. After today, I will not read this very subject again. Please make sure our media team, make sure you cut out this very thing. Anybody who talks nonsense about Nigeria themselves, please cut this very clip and give it to them very, very individually, so they can receive some sense. I am asking them, I am giving them references. I'm not asking them to just sit in one place and accept what I'm saying. No, I'm asking them to go and do research on what I have said. On what I have said. The allegation was put forward by the council to the petitioners that the judiciary was predominantly evil, with the implication that this caused fear among those who are not heroes. But it was clearly stated in the evidence by Dr. Udoma, leader of UNIP, that no occasion could be accused of the judiciary acting with partiality. So the White Group concluded that the fears of the so-called minorities were unfounded, because this man, Dr. Udoma, came and said to them, show us an instance of impartiality by the judges. And they couldn't show anything. They couldn't. That tells you all you need to know. And some of you know the reason why most people from core areas, Cross River, Rivers, and the Goja region in those days were mainly, police officers. It was as a result of this willing commission. He was the one that recommended that, okay, if you're afraid that you're going to be overrun, okay, give them priority in the police service. That's why most of them went to police. But it's the historical fact is here. Anyway, when weekend is done, I don't want to get that food anymore. Maybe tomorrow channels will television again. Start talking to usual rubbish as the food that it is. That is why somebody will go to Ahaba and ban Biafran flag. The same person banning Biafran flag were part of the people that came to the same Ahaba and massacred people in broad daylight. When I look at the irony of the whole thing, it baffles me. When I see people from Ogoni say they want to be part of one Nigeria, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Honestly, I'm horrified. You mean the same one Nigeria that killed cancer women? That is why I say that sometimes people are very, very sick in the brain, honestly speaking. The same people today claiming the police, we are banning Biafran flags in Delta State. They know what they are doing. They have been forcing us all this while, trying to frustrate us so that IPOB can say, okay, give us only 5 eastern, southeastern states, let's go. That's what they want. And any day we say they'll give it to us. That is what they want. And we are saying no. Because that wasn't what Elohim told us. God said, these are my children. From Ikodomiko all the way to Bakassi, they are my children. They must be under one house. Different ethnicities that under one umbrella. Later on, they can go their separate ways. I don't care. But insofar as this fight is concerned, so that when the Fulani will be slaughtering you in time to come, we'll simply tell you, we told you so. As I'm telling all of you, I told you so. When I told about people in America, why do you think that they now love us so much? World Igbo Congress. Because I told them in no other terms that these people, they are coming. Yes, they are coming. They said, oh, how do you know? I said, I know, but they are coming. Have they not come today? Are people not running from one here, from Obakana, from everywhere? Yesterday night, say they have come. I told you they will come. I told you. In the year 2015, I told you they are going. It doesn't matter what you do, they are coming to the Jonathan. The same people that stood us up and shot us to pieces in our Sabbath is telling us you don't have any identity. You are what we call you. You are now Delta. But in the north, they call themselves Arewa. In the core north, not in the middle belt. And they are Arewa. No one has actually said to them, okay, from today your name is Sahel. Since you're from the Sahel region, your name is Sahel. You're all Sahelians. But they can come to my land and say, you are a Delta. You're a Riverian. You're a Cross Riverian. God. But you cannot ask them now to drop the name Arewa, and they will listen to you, they'll tell you, no, they will drop it. Let us call them the Sahelians. We say that from the Sahel. The death is not in Ebo, instead is in Ebo. People that we are wrongly carved into Benue State. That is where the problem is coming from. And we're going to do it. ESN is going there, we're going to do it. In the next few days, you start hearing stories. We're going to do it. A little boy wrote to me, and I've read what he said to me, and we're going to respond. In the next few days, men will be around to defend because president, whatever. We know what we do. And I don't want to talk about Mickey again, it's relevant. Yeah, let him go and change his campus and then stamp a while. Stamp a while of doing it. You can say whatever rubbish he likes on Genesis. My only happiness is that when he goes, he said, that one will do it. That's my only happiness. That's my only happiness. The killing of Igbo people in Benue State must stop. Governor Otom, a man that I like very much and I respect immensely. The killing in Benue State of Igbo people must stop. And the killing of fact of everybody in Benue State must stop, not just Igbo people. Everybody in the killing must stop. And if help is needed, that help will be provided. Yes, we can. After every turn, after talking all your rubbish, my happiness is that in the night you'll be crying because Tambua will be on your back. I'll be dealing with you. Be dealing with you. Idiot to the dog. Fool. The killing of people in Benue must stop. And when people are asking ESN to intervene, when people are asking ESN to, you must understand that we are fighting many battles at the same time. Exactly what happened during the war. We are fighting the frontline Fulani terrorists group. Before, imagine what we have to negotiate before we come into your village in Benue. We have to fight Yetiala. We have to fight the Nigerian police. We have to fight the Nigerian army. We have to fight, I hope going forward, we will say we have to fight the governors. So let me leave them out for now. We have to fight all the saboteurs, the finger pointers. We have to fight the intellectuals. And we need to overcome Yoruba Gotham media. These are the battles we face every blessed day. Tell me a group of people that will face such formidable adversaries and will survive. But we are here. We are here. So these are the issues that we have to confront that we are going to Benue and we are going to help them. Yes, I will be in Benue State. And we are going to help Benue people. And we are not coming to take over your land. We are coming to help you. There is nothing. I am a child of heaven. I am Hebraic in my disposition. What it means is that I cannot take any land that doesn't belong to me. Do you understand? That is why in our culture, when they commit an offense where somebody, as a child, you are trained that some capital crimes is a crime against the land, not crime against humanity. Do you understand? That is why when you want to offer prayers, you take off your shoes and you stand on the land. You pour kai libation, hot drink on the ground itself. That is why if you commit a capital crime, as in the land you stand upon. Because on that land you're going to build a house, on that land you're going to cultivate, on that land you're going to build. This is how the ancients talk about society. So even if nobody is watching you when you want to commit a crime, the land you're standing on is watching you. I can't wait for the rest to come. So we can go back to the way of our system. That is why in our land, we abhor things like selling of children. It's an abomination before God and before man. And anywhere you know people from today who are selling children, please let us know. Anywhere you know people, any doctor, any wife, any hospital, any maternity home involved in the selling of children, please notify us so we can go and deal with them. So also is kidnapping. God is against it. Our land is against it. We don't want it. That is why I want to commend the Inewe Vigilante for busting a racket. There's a racket going on somewhere around Ubo. people selling small children. And do you know one thing? Surprise, surprise, the police are involved in the selling of children in our land. People don't understand the level of atrocities going on in our land every blessed day and the work we are doing to try to stop them. I commend the Nnewi Vigilante Group for doing a very stellar work. And I have also instructed ESN. We have no business with legitimate vigilante groups like the ones we have in Nnewi and in our nation. It's only when they try to interfere with our work that they will get into trouble. So we must commend them. And that we now have the name of the maternity, we have the police officers who are involved. And very soon, maybe we did about 15 as well. And another thing that is very worrying is this. There is news making the rounds that we have caught those that killed them Ahmed Gulag and we shot them. That's what they said. Without going to trial. Now, people are approaching us begging for peace, for truce, and all the rest of it. Let's try and give peace a chance. You know, this is normal. After the very successful lockdown yesterday, let's give peace a chance. I want the Nigerian police, when I'm warning them, Imo State Police Command. I want him to identify all the officers that killed people and tag them the murderers of Ahmed Gulag. You must give us evidence of it. Because all this your plan is not going to work. Getting aligned with Tinubu, Bongono, El-Rufai, all these idiotic village plans to come and kill a man who has no consequence to us. A man, we don't even know who this man was before Sunday. Who is he? The wretched church rat, who is he? That we want to kill. And I want to walk the electric from 1967, people have been part and parcel of the problem of Nigeria. After Nigerian politicians, the next group are Yoruba media, Yoruba journalists. You don't want to leave people alone for people to leave you. You people have come back to the same rubbish you were doing before. There is no repentance because of money. There is no repentance in you people. No repentance in you. You've been writing your job how Ahmed Gulag was killed, and because of that, a man, an innocent man, has been murdered somewhere. There is something in this life called common sense. And when I insult black people for being stupid or being the closest relatives to the chimpanzee, this is exactly the same. This is the reason why I say the things that I say against black people and the Burmese. Black people are very, very foolish. I don't care if children are listening. We black people are very foolish. Now let me ask you, Yoruba journalist, one simple question. No, I don't want to, because Fulani is uneducated. We can't educate them, they're foolish. I want to ask Yoruba people, these sophisticated morons that claim to be school, a very simple question. A man of national importance came to Imo State at the instance of the state government, or say the Senate sent him to Imo State, in a place where there is supposedly insecurity. Is that correct? I want Yoruba journalists to listen to me very carefully tonight, because people are evil. I don't know if you derive your people are sadist. I don't know if you derive any joy by twisting the truth. I don't know what you gain by lying. I don't know. I want to ask you a simple question. If the Senate, as they claim, sent this man to go and conduct constitutional review, of course, we know when they to ask you who presented him for money. He went to Imo State so that Hope can settle him. He was the one that made Hope governor. We know that very well. But let's leave that to one. Let us take the official government line of Nigeria. That Gulag was in Imo State to do Senate work, open consultation. Man is an APC man. The Senate is not claiming he went to work for them. Let us accept. Where was his security on his way to the airport? According to the police, this is why black people do not listen. According to the police said he never told anybody where he was going to. He never asked for any escort, which means that the man knew that his life was in danger from you people, from the army, from the police, or from those that control him. Does that make any sense at all? I don't let me finish what I'm saying before I go to this killing of people, 8 people in Omai. I'll talk about it. If you don't want to organize yourselves and fight back, keep on. If you see the army, keep going to them. These are terrorists in uniform, both army and police. I have warned you, you don't want to listen. Go to them now. Your intellectual brother in Lagos and Abuja, is our security services. And I asked them, where are the Boko Haram that was recruited into the police and to the army? Where are they? Don't know what's going on and kill people. Don't organize yourselves and fight back. Just be there and everything you want us to do for you, everything we have to do for you. No, we are not. Every able-bodied young man and woman, avoid army, avoid police. If you see them, you attack them. I'm saying it in the open. They are killing people in Omai right now. 8 people already shot dead. 8 people killed in Omai now. They are killing people. About 12 people who come and the one Nigeria. God punish all of you. Idiots everywhere. As I was saying about sophisticated morals, GG of the rights for their colonies and all this correspondence that they have. If Gulag was on a national assignment for the Senate, why did this man not tell the army or the police to escort him to the airport? Simple question. Because he knew after meeting Hope that his life was in danger. Because Hope, being a 419 man, had no intention to give him the money that he promised him. Very simple. Ali Monguno used it as a perfect excuse to kill him. Yoruba disturbance. Why have you failed to publish the video of Ahmed Gulag where he was accusing Monguno of corruption and he was praying in Arabic, saying that he's not afraid of any man. They can do anything they like to do. Did you read it? So Yoruba journalists, you people are part and parcel of the plan to eliminate and wipe away the Igbo race from the face of the earth. All of you are part of this very plan. That was the reason why, without any investigation, you rushed to conclude that it was IPOB, ESM that killed him. How many people have we killed before? You people are part and parcel of this very plan, Yoruba journalists, to kill Igbo people. And you wonder why Yorubas are in Benin Republic and refugee camps. Where I come from, it's called Akaisi Hailahon, the hand with which you have fed poison to other people, you will inadvertently put in your mouth, and you become poison. As you're busy writing junk about IPOB and ESN, Fulani Al Shabaab from Somalia and your land, taking over your belly. By the time you wake up from your stupidity today, I will ask you again, why would if any day there is some form of independent inquiry into the death of Ahmed Gulag, the first question will be, why did he not seek police escort to the airport? Therein lies the answer. And I also want to teach Nigerians, these black animals and called Nigerians, a very simple lesson. Please. The first, you know when there is murder, all of you that may watch murder, CSI or New York or all those, whatever it's called, if you go to the police station anywhere in the West, for those of you listening to us from the US or from the UK, if you go to anywhere at all, it is a man, it was a suspect to be the wife. Because very well, people who don't know commit crime and not know. This was a targeted assassination. Therefore, those who are close to you that will know what happened to you, they in the war. The first place you start is from the stone. Who did he have dinner with? The last people that he saw, that was where the investigation and stuff. This is the focus of the man and those in the 80s. And those who was. In fact, after that, I'm going to ask you, does he have evidence? I'm just thinking about what the IG of police doesn't even know. The IG don't know. Ask any policeman in the world, when you're investigating a homicide, the first suspects are people who are close to the man, starting from the wife, the children, the friends, and the political associates. Simply how it's done everywhere anymore. Do you know why somebody close to him killed him? Because he was fearful of his own life. That was why he sneaked up at the hotel. He did not want to let the police of the army know. If the police and the army did not know his whereabouts, how can I do it? Simple question. After all these overwhelming evidence, the Yoruba journalists what happened to God let this sit down and suspects are hiding like this. And I want to ask this, all these days of writing junk and supporting evil, where has it got to be? Are you benefiting? Are you having fun in Nigeria? All these days of writing nonsense after nonsense, trying to decide genocide against the people, what have you benefited? You imagine I'm so massive. It's what I want in Nigeria. Yes, sir, this is suspect. The man did not even tell the enemy. He avoided them because he knew his life was in danger at the hands of the army and the police. Don't you get it? And how come those who should be there who were not killed? How come it's empty? Where is the brother of the Have you investigated? The police went to somewhere around and said people like they are claiming that they are what's it called? And some people are writing rubbish on social media, and you're telling me that the Nigerian army deserve to live, that the Nigerian police deserve to live. Today, you know why 8 people killed, that they deserve to live. Children of who know God punition of you evil people. As I said from the beginning, they will kill us, we will kill them. In the end, we are going to win. That's the way it is. Do you know that after our successful lockdown yesterday, Southeast governors are now meeting? People talk about the history of insecurity in the Southeast without starting it from the beginning. They always start it from the middle. Let me ask the governors who are meeting, who brought insecurity into the Southeast and South-South? Simple question. When you hear that, we want peace. I'm asking the Southeast, I was praising them a while ago, but now I'm about to teach them a lesson. I'm asking them, who brought insecurity to the Southeast? Now, let us follow this sequence. By the time of Operation Baton Downs 1, did IPOB kill anybody? What justification did you have to invite the army to come and do fire companies in our land? Killing people every year. It's a massive call. Every year they come in as they're doing right now. Even no one, and I'm told now they've killed 8 young people this time. Southeast governors are not asking me. When I had meeting with you, August of 2017, did I bring a gun to any government house? When I was doing my rally, did I kill anybody? So you just asking me, where are you? When I was there doing my rallies, where were you? I was doing rallies, I will want to go to a state where he threatened me if you come to my state, I will kill you. He had to break their covenant. He can't do my right hand. I left. The video is there. Omahi who brought insecurity. I want to ask you guys, when you were looking at the looted goods from my sitting room in government house with the then IG of police, did I kill anyone? In what way did I offend you? We went to a meeting. I went to a meeting with the governors and I told them what I wanted. I gave them my terms and my conditions to call off an election. That's all. They failed to meet it. In fact, basically they said, go on, we'll call this back next time. Next time, they come to kill me. Who brought insecurity into our land? Ask me.
Thank you so much for listening. We have done it and we will continue from tomorrow where we stop. I appreciate every one of you that have joined us on this program. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for being with us from beginning to the end. See you again tomorrow on another episode.
Akara m ihe mbe na-eme mbe si ma achọrọ ofu ukwu ehi ma nke ọzọ mụ achọrọ ihe niile ma ụkwụ ya ma aka ya ma isi ya ma olu ya anyị ga-adọbiri wee pụọ na nke onwe anyị tigata azụ etu anyị nọ tupu ndị ọcha wee bịa ebe a nwa aha obodo ebe a nwe ndị mmadụ n'ime tupu nwa bekee si ebe o si hapụ obodo ya ọ bịa ebe a ọkpọrọ onye nke ọkpọrọ okeke ọkpọrọ okafọ dakata anyị isi ọ sị n'ụbọchị nke taa na anya aha anyị wuzi Naijiria anyị na-aza aha na-enweghị omimi n'ime ya ihe ngwa gị gbasị biko kọwara m ihe Naijiria pụtara enwepụghị kọwara m ọmụa ga-aza aha osimiri ka osimiri ga-aza aha mụnwa n'ihi ihe anyị na-ekwuwu na ebe arụgidere ụlọ a na ọ jọgburu onwe ya ọ dịghị mma Naijiria agaghị emekọtanwu ihe ọzọ ihe ọjọọ emego n'obodo a arụ emego egbugo ndị be anyị aka na-egbukwa anyị ndị Fulani wee chere na mabata be anyị ka na-egbukwa ndị be anyị ruo ụtụtụ echi a na-asị m na ọ ga-adị mma oge ọ na-ekwekwu ka nwee mmekọrịta bụ nke ndị nụkọ nke ndị ụmụnne ha egosighị anyị ọtụtụ mgbe ha kpọrọ anyị asị onye ajụrụ ajụ na-ajụ onwe ya ha jụrụ anyị aja ama njụ onwe anyị agbanyeghị na anyị nwe ngwa ahịa n'ugwu Awụsa agbanyeghị na anyị na-azụ ahịa ebe niile dị iche iche na-eme nke ọma kama onye gara ndụ kpakụ onye ire rie n'ihe ọ Ndụbụisi ka anyị na-ekwu okwu ya ka echeghata azụ ebe a ruo obodo anyị ka o wee maa mma wee karịa obodo ndị ọcha na mma ọhịa anyị na-arịọ nwekwe n'ugwu nwee nkwanye ugwu n'ime onwe anyị ọnwa anyị pụọ n'iro a na-etigbu anyị pụọ n'iro okwu okwu asị ọ bụ gịnị ma anyị ji wee ekwu okwu ọnwụ ihe ndị a ka anyị sị na anyị agaghị anabatakwa ya ọzọ.
Akụkọ a kọrọ anyị bụ na ọkụkọ na ewu agaghị nzukọ ụmụ anụmanụ a na-emezi mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ịchụ aja ejiri ọkụkọ maọbụ nwụchụ aja mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ime ka Naijiria dị n'otu enwe ha na-eto esi mgbe kpam akpụrụ ndị Igbo ọ pụtara na anyị bụ ọkụkọ maọbụ ka ọ pụtara na anyị agaghị nzukọ mere ya bụ ihe eji eme anyị bụ ndị Igbo ụdị na ọbara ndị Igbo ahụ kpafu n'obodo Naijiria agaghị
ọ bụ site na akpọmasị ihe na-eme anyị dị ka ihe mere ndị ji oge mgbe gara aga etu akụ ka mba niile dị iche iche ji kpọọ ụmụ Izrel asị a na-egbu ha a na-egbu ha afọ niile aka na-egbu ha o wee ruo oge ugbu anyị asị na ogbugbu a na-egbu anyị na ọ dịghị anyị mma ọ ka mma na onwe ihe kwegbuo anyị wu nwere onwe njem a nke anyị na-aga kama na na-esi etete n'ụtụtụ asị na onwe onye gburu ebe a onwe ha na-ekwu okwu odo na nyere onwe onye n'aka ụkọchukwu n'ugwu Awụsa ebepụ isi ọnwụghị ofu ugboro ọnwụghị ugboro abụọ ọnwụghị ugboro atọ ọnwụghị ugboro anọ ọ bụ ruo ole mgbe ka a ga-egbugide anyị wee rue anyị asị mba na anyị ga-aga ka anyị nwee ike wee nwere onwe anyị ọ ka mma na anyị nwụrụ ebe anyị na-azọ nwere